Welcome to the Happiness Happens podcast. I'm Simona Costantini, blogger, storyteller, and life enthusiast. Each week, I will bring you an idea, guest, or positive thought to help inspire you to create happiness and live on purpose. We decide the stories we tell ourselves and where we choose to invest our energy. It's time to cultivate a positive mind for a positive, more meaningful life. I'm so grateful you popped in. Now let's get started. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me for the second episode of the Happiness Happens podcast. I hope that you've had the chance to listen to the first episode because it's the episode that introduces the whole podcast, why I've done it, and what to expect from future episodes. So if you haven't had the chance to listen to it yet, I definitely think you should listen to the first episode after this one. But I'm so excited to be sharing episode 2 with you, and this is a topic that I feel really passionately about, and it's something that I've wanted to talk about for a long time, and it's something that I've had a really hard time doing myself, and that's prioritizing myself and my needs over what I should do or what others expect me to do. Expectation is a really tricky subject. For as long as I can remember, I've always gone above and beyond to make sure that everyone else around me is happy, everyone else around me is okay, and I've sacrificed my true happiness and what I really want so many times and done things when I didn't feel like doing them, only to make other people happy or satisfy everyone else's expectations around me. If I didn't do this, I really felt like I was disappointing to them or their expectations. But I think at some point, you just don't care about that anymore. I think that expectation is one of the hardest things to break because it's something that's so ingrained in us. One of the things that I never really realized before was that I had all of these thoughts and all of these expectations that I create around what I should do, but truly they all stem from the stories that I tell myself. They don't stem from anywhere else. Nobody else is making me have that expectation but myself. One of the most common examples I think that most people can relate to would be to think that we constantly have to go out, constantly have to be doing something in order to feel like we're participating with our friends or in society properly. If we don't go out, there's that thought that, our friends will be mad at us or think that we're boring. And it's such a familiar story because it happens all the time. My question for you, though, is if you find yourself in this situation, does it even really matter? Does it matter what other people think? If you're being true to yourself and what you really want, does the judgment of all of those people around you really mean that much? It feels so good to tell someone that you don't want to go out and then, spend that time doing something that you truly, truly want to do, and you get to enjoy every moment spent doing what you really wanted to do. I'm a big believer in that your true friends should always respect your boundaries, always respect your opinions and how you want to live your life, the choices that you want to make, how you want to change the stories you tell yourself, and maybe that is a different version of you. Maybe it's a different version than they already know. But if someone is really a true friend, they're going to understand why you set these boundaries around yourself and why you have to prioritize your own self. Really, you should never have to explain yourself to anyone or explain why you want to do something a certain way. It should just be understood. I find that it's so easy in the midst of all of the things that we're doing every day. It's so easy to forget about ourselves, forget what's important to us, to get caught up in the day-to-day. You're too busy at work, or you rush home and you take care of your dog or your kids or other loved ones. You forget to create space for yourself and make yourself a priority. When we do this, we're telling ourselves that whatever workout or event or activity that we were really hoping to do or that we had planned can wait. But ultimately, we're telling ourselves that we aren't a priority and that we don't matter, so that all of these other things should come before anything that you do for yourself. I was listening to this podcast a few months ago, and it was on Lewis Howes' podcast, and it was guest starring Sean T. And he said something that really resonated with me, and I jotted it down because I knew that I wanted to remember it. He was saying that in his most wonderful, magical way of saying it, he said that this being the launch of a successful business or showing up to take care of your family can't happen without the happiness of you. This really kind of shook me because in order for us to be able to give the best of ourselves to a task or a person or a situation, we have to first ensure that our own happiness is taken care of. It's kind of like the hierarchy of needs. Like you have to hit all of the steps before you can do something good for other people. You have to make sure that you put the most amount of resources into yourself so that you can then be the best version of you for everybody else. So then he went on to say that when you choose to make yourself a priority, so anything that you do to make yourself a priority, it could be like reading your favorite book, doing your favorite workout, trying a new class, taking a new activity, learning a new skill, whatever it is that you're trying to do, that thing will thrive because of the positive, successful energy that you're bringing to yourself. Bringing this type of positive and successful energy into your life brings it back into the lives of those around you because you feel better from taking care of yourself and making yourself a priority, and ultimately make everyone else around you more energized, more positive, and then more receptive to your vibe. When you're choosing to make yourself a priority, you're consciously choosing to empower yourself to excel in every other area of your life every single day. It's saying that you're important too and that you deserve to be in the center of your own life. This is so important, you guys, because you only have one life, and every day is that chance to empower yourself more, to do exactly what it is that makes you happy, and you have to do it right now. You have to start that project now, or you have to do whatever it is now, because you might not get another day to do that. And in order for you to move forward, or in order for you to really discover that true happiness in your life, you really have to make yourself a priority, and you really have to do what feels good to you in order to achieve peace. When you prioritize yourself, it doesn't mean that you don't care about other people. In my opinion, it actually means the complete opposite, because you care so much about others and their well-being that you have to do everything to bring the best version of yourself to the table every single day. It doesn't mean that the to-do list has to be put on hold, but it does mean that you need to create space in your life to really do what feels right and do what feels good to you. It also doesn't mean drop all of your responsibilities, to be selfish and then only care about yourself. What I'm really trying to say here is that by making yourself a priority, you begin to show up in a new way for yourself and in a new way for your family, your friends, your colleagues, and your loved ones. You have the opportunity to bring a higher vibe to the world because you're really truly feeling good. And then you have the opportunity for that vibe to come back to you and come back to others. Making yourself a priority, or making myself a priority, is something that I've really tried to apply into my own life and prioritizing myself and what I want to do. One day you kind of just wake up and you realize that your own happiness depends on making time for the things that we love to do. And there's always time to do exactly what it is you love and exactly what makes you feel like a priority or the most important person in your life. The thing is, you have to seize that time and seize that moment and create space for exactly this. I hope that this episode inspires you to take some more time for yourself this week and do what feels good and right for you when it comes to setting your priorities. At the end of the day, you are all you have. And in order to show up as the best version of yourself, you need to take some time for yourself to do exactly what it is that makes you feel so happy. So I'm wishing you the most wonderful week, and I will talk to you next week for our third episode. Thanks so much for being here today. I hope these words have brought you inspiration, insight, and a bit more happiness. Please leave a comment or a review if this episode resonates with you. I would be so grateful. Until next time, remember that happiness happens when you're least expecting it.